All right, it's September 14th, and the crypto market is acting wilder than a cat on catnip at a laser light show. Seriously, the charts are looking more like a toddler's crayon drawing than a financial instrument, and we are here for every chaotic squiggle. First up, the big boys on Wall Street have finally decided to join the party. The brand spanking new Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs just vacuumed up nearly $3 billion in a single week. $3 billion. That's enough to buy a small country, or at least every avocado in California. The suits are finally catching on, moving from Bitcoin is rat poison to, "Sir, would you like your bonus in ETH or BTC?" It's like watching your dad discover TikTok, but instead of learning a silly dance, he's allocating the family trust fund into something called a smart contract. And speaking of flexing, Ethereum is doing more than just flexing. It's hitting the gym, drinking protein shakes, and staring at itself in the mirror. It's up a staggering 200% since April. While you were spring cleaning, ETH was spring loading. So if you thought you missed the boat, don't worry. Apparently the boat is now a continent-sized luxury cruise liner with a water park and a zero-gravity chamber. But enough about the sensible stuff. Let's dive headfirst into the glorious dumpster fire that is meme coin madness. Hold on to your laser eyes, because the meme coins are back. And they're not just barking, they're launching full-scale interplanetary missions. A coin called Doge Rocket, which has a white paper that's just a picture of a Shiba Inu in an astronaut helmet, just shot up 500% overnight. Why? Nobody knows. But it proves once again that the internet loves a cute dog more than a solid investment strategy. Not to be outdone, a new contender has entered the ring. CatGPT. It's a coin that promises to use AI to translate your cat's meows. So far, all translations have come back as "feed me" or "the dog is an idiot." It's up 800%. Of course it is. Now for a rapid-fire round of altcoin absurdity. Solana just broke the sound barrier. Literally. Their latest update was so fast, it finished before I could finish this sentence. Meanwhile, Cardano holders are still patiently waiting for their coffee to finish brewing, just like their smart contracts. They call it peer-reviewed patience. And Shiba Inu just announced a new partnership with a local dog park. Analysts are calling it a positive move with strong on-leash potential. Over in the Polkadot ecosystem, they just successfully auctioned off another parachain slot. For the uninitiated, that's like renting out a room in your shared apartment. But the application process costs $100 million and is decided by a candle auction. Don't ask. And let's not forget Ripple. Their lawyers have now billed more hours than there are atoms in the universe, but the price of XRP remains as stable as my emotional state during a market crash. But the biggest story of the week comes from the deep. An ancient Ethereum whale, a true crypto sapiens, has just woken up from an 8-year slumber. Let's put that in perspective. This person has been hodling since before hodl was a meme, since before Dogecoin was cool, the first time. They bought 1 million ETH back in 2016 for a measly $310,000. That's the price of a suburban garage back then. They just moved $645 million of it to a new wallet for staking, and their total stash is now worth a mind-melting $4.3 billion. This person could buy a small island, name it Etheria, and declare themselves king, and honestly, we'd support it. That's not diamond hands, my friends. That's the infinity gauntlet, fully loaded, with the power to snap half of all fiat currency out of existence. So what does all this madness mean for prices? Well, the analysts are more hyped than a kid on Christmas morning who just found a Ledger wallet under the tree. The consensus for Ethereum is a cool $4,800 by this time next year, with some hopium-fueled bulls screaming for $6,500. Bitcoin, the conservative estimate, is a steady climb to $120,000, which means in some cities, 1 Bitcoin could buy you a house. In New York or San Francisco, it might get you a really, really nice parking spot for a month. Of course, for every bull, there's a bear. One analyst from the Grumpy Gus Institute predicts Bitcoin will fall to $10,000, citing bad vibes and the moon being in retrograde. So, take your pick. And finally, let's wade into the murky, shark-infested waters of DeFi. A new yield farm called Safe Moon, but actually safe this time we promise, launched this week, offering a 10,000% APR. The project's anonymous developer, known only as DevMcDevFace, assured investors in a Discord message that their funds were SAFU. Shockingly, the entire liquidity pool was drained 12 hours later. The developer's final message? Thanks for the exit liquidity, suckers. Remember, folks, if it sounds too good to be true, it's probably about to be rugged harder than a Persian carpet in a hurricane. And that's all the crypto comedy news that's fit to print. On the blockchain. What a week. My portfolio has been on more of a roller coaster than a theme park safety inspector. Smash that like button if your portfolio is greener than a frog in a lettuce patch. And hit subscribe so you don't miss the next market meltdown or meme coin miracle. Stay safe, stay skeptical, and for the love of Satoshi, don't invest in anything named after a cat. Catch you on the flippening.